If you're looking for the best results in your romantic life, in your investments, in gains from your life, in the matters of your children, in the matters of your finances, then you cannot ignore the placement of the 5th house lord in the different nakshatras of other planets. Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. In the series that we are doing of different planets in the nakshatras, different nakshatras or different planets, also house lords placed in the different nakshatras belonging to different planets, we have covered the lagna, the 2nd house, the 3rd house and the 4th house so far. Today we will be talking about the placement of the 5th house lord in the different nakshatras ruled by different planets. What are the possibilities, what are the probabilities, what are the manifestations, what are the denotations for us. So let's jump in and understand how different areas of the 5th house, which are romance, investments, your gains, your change in your career, your children and also your early education, all of these, how they are influenced by whether the house lord is placed in the nakshatras of Sun or Mercury or Venus, and which specific nakshatra the 5th house lord is placed in. Now when the 5th house lord is placed in the nakshatras ruled by the Sun, the Sun ruled nakshatras have the fire energies and the earth energies, because one pada of the Sun ruled nakshatras is in the fire signs and 3 padas are in the earth signs. So obviously these two manifestations will also come in, whereby the passionate independence, the artistic denotation, the killer instinct of the fire energies will also kick in, and the humility, the steadiness, the detail orientation of the earth energies will also kick in. So when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatras ruled by the Sun, firstly, Sun denotes leadership, Sun denotes responsibility, Sun also denotes your ability to take accountability, and because it is also the soul's manifestation, so this becomes very important. Secondly, Sun also rules the sign of Leo. Leo also has 5th house energies. So when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatras ruled by Sun, this is a very powerful placement. So basis which nakshatra that the 5th house lord goes in ruled by Sun, different manifestations will come about. Now when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatra of Kritika, where one pada is in Aries and 3 padas are in the Taurus sign. So here the manifestation of the 5th house, whereby in relation to romance, in relation to your investments, the power, influence that you will be getting in your gains, in upheavals in your career, changes in your career, the energies of Aries and the Taurus sign energies will kick in. So here the person will be very passionate in terms of his career, in terms of his gain, in terms of his romance. Sometimes this person can also be a little sarcastic towards his romantic partner if they see that they are not able to get the results or the attention of the romantic partner. And because it is Sun rule energies, there is a certain degree of leadership orientation also. So sometimes the person can also be critical of the partner. Now if the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatra of Uttara Falguni, where one pada is in the Leo sign and 3 padas are in the Virgo sign, so the Leo energies of responsibility, accountability, the brightness, shining, authority, power, influence will also come in, but also the placement of the 3 padas of Virgo means this person can also be somebody who is very perfectionist, somebody who is very analytical, and will also use the intelligent capacity to be able to get results of the 5th house. So yeah, this person can be somebody in relation to his responsibility, in relation to his career, in relation to his children, in relation to his romantic liaison. This person can be very sincere but very stubborn also. However, this person will always lend a helping hand, will also be very caring, they will also approach the relationship with both responsibility and also will push the best attitude of the person and the best output also from the person. Now if the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatra of Uttarashada, where 1 pada is in the Sagittarius sign and 3 padas are in the Capricorn sign. So yeah, this is a person because of Sagittarius energies. So the 5th house lord going into the nakshatra Uttara when 1 pada is in Sagittarius, which means there will also be a lot of openness, liberal mindedness, also a lot of fun, adventure. But the 3 padas in Capricorn, which means a lot of ability to be able to be very committed, to be very duty bound, be very steady, very purposeful also. So this is a person who will also be very purposeful in his or her romantic relations, in terms of his career, in terms of how the person will make his or her investments, and what kind of gains they want from different manifestation of the 5th house. Now when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatras ruled by Mercury, Mercury ruled nakshatras have each of the 4 padas in each of the nakshatras in the water signs. So the Mercury ruled nakshatras of Aslesha, Jyeshtha and Revati have, each of the nakshatras have 4 padas in either in the Cancer sign or in the Scorpio sign or in the Pisces sign. So when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatras ruled by Mercury, so here the intellectual capacity, the ability to be able to take intellectual decisions and thought through decisions, balanced decisions will also kick in. But because the nakshatras are lying in the water signs, all the 4 padas lie in the water signs, so this person is very imaginative, very nurturing, very intuitive also in their discrimination. So when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatra of Aslesha, where all 4 padas are in Cancer, so this is a person who will be very insightful in how they take forward their romantic relations, how they will take forward their career, what kind of approach they have to gains, what kind of approach they have to their investment. So this person can be a little secretive and sometimes they are also a little controlling, for example, in their romantic relations. But whatever they do, they will do with a lot of intensity, with an intention to be able to get the perfect output, the best output from the relationship while being extremely caring. Now if the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatra of Jyeshtha, where all the 4 padas are in the Scorpio sign, so here because if the 5th house lord goes into a Mercury ruled nakshatra but in the Jyeshtha nakshatra having 4 padas in Scorpio sign, so this is a person who has a degree of authority, superiority complex also in their manifestation, in their approach to life, because usually these people have seen it, been there, done that, or they have the attitude that they know more, or at least because they have a keen eye on relationship, keen eye on how the world works. So usually these people will also have a keen eye on how the 5th house results will throw up for them, whether it's career, whether it's romantic relations, whether it's their investment, or even from where to make their gains. So this is a person who will be a little protective of their relationship, but sometimes can be very impulsive in how they get into the relationship and how they treat the relationship also. Now when the 5th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Revati, where all 4 padas are in the Pisces sign, so yeah, the high imaginativeness, high creativity, high giving attitude of Pisces will also kick in, whereas the result orientation, the practical approach, the logical approach of Mercury will also kick in. However, because it is the water sign, so still these people will be very imaginative, very nurturing and very intuitive. So it's as if the person will know beforehand what kind of challenges they may come upon in the relationship, what kind of challenges they come upon in career also, and usually these people will also be a little idealistic how the world should behave. So usually these people will learn after some downfall that they get, and they will learn through some pitfalls initially that they are able to face. However, in the long term, because of the optimistic nature, because of a go-getting spirit, they turn out to be more lucky than others. Now when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatras ruled by Venus, all the nakshatras ruled by Venus lie in the fire sign. So whether it's Bharani or Purva Falguni or Purva Ashadha, each of these nakshatras are lying in the either in the Aries sign or the Leo sign or Sagittarius, or at least all the 4 padas lie either in the Aries, Leo or Sagittarius sign. So when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatras ruled by Venus, so this is a placement of very high gains, very high ambition, very high materialistic hunger also that these people have. And now because the 5th house lord is also concerned with romance, so usually these people are very romantic at heart. Now if it goes into Bharani, where all 4 padas are in the Aries sign, so there is a lot of go-getting spirit to be able to get the results they want in their romantic relationship, in their gains, in their investments also. So usually such people can also be a little jealous if they find that if they are a better half or their romantic liaison is also getting a lot of attention from others. However, these people are in it for the long haul, so they will persevere. Usually very, very intelligent, very, very witty, a lot of fun to be with are these people. Now if the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatra of Purva Falguni, where all 4 padas lie in the Leo sign. So this is a placement of very high gains, because now the 5th house lord is gone into the Purva Falguni Nakshatra. So usually these people are very, very lucky in terms of materialistic gain. However, these people are also very playful, very fun loving. They will also bring in a certain degree of fun in their relationships. They will also be a lot of teasing which they do with their partner, but they will be very honest, very loyal, usually very well groomed, and also be very sensual in the approach to relationship, but very generous, very giving. Now if the 5th house lord gets into the nakshatra Purvashada, where all 4 padas are in the Sagittarius sign. So now the 5th house lord is gone into a Venus ruled nakshatra, and in a nakshatra which all 4 padas are in a fire sign, in Sagittarius sign. So these are the most fun loving people, most compassionate people, little flirtatious also, but they are fearless in getting into romance, traveling, very ambitious in their career. They will not hesitate to make a change if at all they feel they need to make a change to get ahead. Sometimes they may come across a little authoritative in the romantic relations, in how they approach the relationship, and so if they feel that their things are not going their way, they can also be a little confrontational, even with their romantic partner, even with their bosses, even at work. Now when the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatras ruled by moon, all the 3 nakshatras ruled by moon have all the 4 padas in the earth signs, which are in Taurus or in Virgo or Capricorn. So all the 4 padas moon ruled nakshatras are either in the Taurus sign or in the Virgo sign or in the Capricorn sign. So when the 5th house lord goes into a moon ruled nakshatra, so obviously caring, empathetic attitude, a lot of support, nurturing, attachment, emotional approach will also come into the life. So when it goes into the nakshatra of Rohini, where all 4 padas are in the Taurus sign, so the creativity, the imagination, and the empathetic nature of moon, coupled with the gains of the 5th house, the romantic approach of the 5th house, and the investments of the 5th house will get coupled with the high responsibility, high accountability, steadiness, rules and regulation, principles and values of Taurus. However, because the Rohini nakshatra is about beauty, attraction, charisma, loyalty, a lot of elegance and attractiveness, so yeah, the 5th house lord can get a lot of materialistic results also through creativity, through imagination also. So usually such a person can be very beautiful, they can be very artistic also, they may like luxuries, and usually they end up getting a very beautiful romantic partner also. Very, very sensitive, but very, very emotional and very loyal in their approach to relations in their career, as well as in their approach to how they make investments and what kind of gain they get out of it. Now if it's the Hasta nakshatra in which the 5th house lord gets into, where all the 4 padas are in the Virgo sign, so this is a person who will be making their investments with a lot of thought through decision making, will have to look into data, will make educational decisions or educated decisions or learned decisions in terms of their career, learned decisions in terms of even their romantic partner. So for example, usually these are not the people who will have love at first sight. There may be a few outliers there, but generally these people will try to know a person, enough before they try to get into or say even I like you or I want to be with you. Once they arrive at a decision that this is a good investment for me in terms of what investment they make for financial gain, or the time that they are investing in a romantic relationship, or the time that they are giving to an educational qualification, once they're sure, then they will go all out in it. Usually these people are very persuasive, very, very influential, and can be a little romantic while being very emotional also. So usually very good healers, somebody who can also be a little possessive in their relationship. Now if the 5th house lord gets into the Shravana Nakshatra, where all 4 padas are in the Capricorn sign, so yeah, a lot of rules and regulations, also a lot of dedication, commitment, loyalty, and a very disciplined approach, a very structured approach to investments, structured approach to relationships, structured approach to how they even make their career changes may come in. So such people are very, very intelligent, very, very affectionate, but sometimes can also be a little selfish in the approach when they find that things are not going their way. So then they will put their foot down and they will want to, or ask at least for what they want. They will not be somebody who may be taken for a ride in a relationship. They may want to give, but at the same time they also want their pound of flesh. So if they are dissatisfied with the relationship, these people will also not bat an eyelid to break away from the relationship. So firstly, very, very giving, very, very disciplined in the approach to relationship, romance, career. But if they are dissatisfied, these will be the first people who also call the relationship off. Now, if it's the Mars ruled nakshatra in which the 5th house lord is placed, Mars ruled nakshatras have the air sign or the earth signs, where 2 padas of the Mars ruled nakshatras are in the earth signs and 2 padas are in the air signs. So usually these people are a mix of both steadiness, humility, practicality, but on the other hand, they also give a lot of importance to relationships, connections, social connections, and usually are very, very smart. So if the 5th house lord, for example, gets into the nakshatra of Mrigashira, where 2 padas are in the Taurus sign and 2 padas are in the Gemini sign. So the rules and regulations, the principles, the values, the nourishment orientation of Taurus, while the communication, the hard work, the influencing skills of Gemini will also come in. So usually these people like to travel, they are very knowledgeable, they are inquisitive, trying to get the best gains, but only after trying to know about the person, about their career, about the investment before they take the best foot forward. So usually these people can also be a little anxious, a little nervous if they are not getting the kind of response that they want, but somebody who can be very, very good at communication, very, very good at striving to get the best result that they want. Now, if the 5th house lord goes into the nakshatra of Chitra, ruled by Mars. Now this nakshatra of Chitra has 2 padas in the Virgo sign and 2 padas in the Libra sign. So 2 padas being in Virgo means a very disciplined approach, very logical approach, a very analytical approach, and at the same time 2 padas are in Libra. So this is also a person who will also look at the relationship orientation, also look at the relationship being as the cornerstone of their results, cornerstone of what decision they also take, but with an eye also on that this decision has to be practical, this decision has to be thought through. So they will be a little analytical also in the relationship sometimes, but they will also be somebody who will not like to break up the relationship easily. They persevere in the relationship, usually very, very dignified in the approach, somebody who will appreciate beauty. So usually they end up getting beautiful partners, and these people will also be very, very artistic and have a lot of go-getting in energy because it is the Mars ruled nakshatra. Now if the 5th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Dhanishta, where 2 padas are in the Capricorn sign and 2 padas are in the Aquarius sign. So because 2 padas are in the Capricorn sign, so these people can be very structured in the approach, very disciplined in the approach, very loyal, very dedicated, but at the same time because 2 padas are in Aquarius, so these people can be very social, very outgoing, very, very liberal, very large hearted, and so they'll pack a lot of confident energy. And because it is the Dhanishta is the Mars ruled nakshatra, so these people with their dedication, their go-getting energy and their intellectual capacity of Aquarius will really be very successful, usually in whatever they put their hands on. But usually such people can get better gains in their career in relation to the business and slightly less on the relationship front. But if they get into a relationship where they will be very, very confident, they will be very stable, but one of the challenges that they can have is if they speak their mind out, they may not be able to control. They cannot be these mushy, the very, very soft people, because of which sometimes the relationship can also get into some problems, some ups and downs and some upheavals as well. Now, if it is the Jupiter ruled nakshatras in which the 5th house lord gets in, the Jupiter ruled nakshatras have the air energies and the water sign energies, because 3 padas of each of the Jupiter ruled nakshatras are in the air signs and 1 nakshatra and 1 pada is in the water sign. So they will have a combination of the air energies of relationships, connections, social connections are very important for them, social relationships are very important for them, but at the same time these people can also be very emotional, very nurturing, very caring and very imaginative. So now if the 5th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Punarvasu, where 3 padas are in the Gemini sign and 1 pada is in the Cancer sign. So these people can be somebody who are very good at communication, very large-hearted in communication, and these people can also have a very sophisticated, very influential communication also. Usually if these people get talking, they can easily influence others, and because of 1 pada being in Cancer sign, they can also come across as very harmonious, very caring, very protective, very nurturing, very giving. So somebody who is very caring, very giving, very nurturing, but also very charming. So usually these people get very good results, especially from the 5th house dissemination in romance, in your career, in the investments as well. If the 5th house lord gets into the nakshatra of Vishaka, where 3 padas are in the Libra sign and 1 pada is in the Scorpio sign. So because 3 padas are in Libra, so these people are extremely relationship oriented, very balanced in the approach, wanting to be in a relationship, wanting to keep the relationship, wanting to keep the partnership. But at the same time, 1 pada being in Scorpio, so usually initial part of their life, their relationship, their partnerships, the ability to work in teams may also go through some ups and downs, and usually these people may start off with not being trusted enough. People will look at them a certain degree of skepticism and may think these people can be a little domineering or even controlling. But at the same time, because it is the Jupiter ruled nakshatra, so over a period of time, fantastic results can come to these people because of their relationship orientation. Now, if the 5th house lord gets into the nakshatra Purva Bhattarapada, where 3 padas are lying in the Aquarius sign and 1 pada is in the Pisces sign. Now, because it is the 3 padas are in the Aquarius sign, so these people have a lot of social orientation. These people can build very strong networks. These people can have, if at all they work on it, very strong connections, so very strong network connections, and these people can do very well in large organizations or in departments which are also giving back something to the society. So somewhere their careers can be getting connected to something where society, the masses will gain out of the product, out of their services. And because 1 pada lies in the Pisces sign, so these people are very creative, very imaginative also, while being very intelligent also. So certain degree of mysticism can also be there, but a lot of resilience also in the approach. But sometimes they can be very unflinching in their support to the causes that they have, to the relationship, to the friends that they have with. So usually this is one of the better performing nakshatras ruled by Jupiter. Now, if the 5th house lord gets into the nakshatras ruled by Saturn, Saturn ruled nakshatras have all the water sign energies, because 3 of the nakshatras ruled by Saturn, all of the nakshatras have all the 4 padas and either the Cancer sign or the Scorpio sign or the Pisces sign. Because they have 4 padas in the water sign, so here this person can also bring in a certain degree of emotionality, imagination, intuitiveness, and also a lot of initiative in how they approach work, how they approach life, how they approach their romantic connection, how they approach their career. So if the 5th house lord gets placed in the nakshatra of Pushya, ruled by Saturn, all 4 padas are in Cancer. So usually these people will get very good results over a period of time because of their nurturing approach, caring approach, and over a period of time they will also get a lot of prosperity, but through their perseverance, through the ability to keep stability, because it is the Saturn ruled nakshatras. So this is one of the most auspicious nakshatras where the person will be kind, the person will be very moral, the person will be very intelligent, but very service oriented, and because of that, over a period of time, the zodiac, it seems, gives them back. Now, if it's the Anuradha nakshatra ruled by Saturn, in which the 5th house lord is placed, where all the 4 padas are in the Scorpio sign, so usually these people's initial life, initial relationship, initial investments, initial career will go through some ups and downs, will go through some roadblocks, but after they are able to overcome that because of being very logical, being very reasoning, and the ability to build rapport, so these people will create the harmony with people, create harmony in their romantic relations, create harmony in their teams, create harmony in their career, and because of that they also become very popular, very liked, and through that they also invite success. Now, if it is the Uttara Bhattarapada nakshatra ruled by Saturn, where all 4 padas are in the Pisces sign, so here the Pisces energies of being very adaptable, of being very reasonable, but at the same time very idealistic, these tendencies will also come in. But because Pisces also has an over-optimistic and self-sacrificing tendencies also, so these people will generally end up giving more and receiving less. And so these people end up giving more in their romantic relations, giving more for children, giving more in their career, in their work, in fact, they make more investments to get slightly lesser gains than from others. However, because it is the Pisces rule nakshatra, because it has all 4 padas in Pisces, over a period of time, because of their approach to relations, approach to work, approach to their career, being a little self-sacrificing, these people will have a lot of spiritual manifestation of these placements. Now, if it is the Rahu rule nakshatras in which the 5th house lord gets placed, Rahu rule nakshatras are all in the air signs. So, each of the padas rule, each of the nakshatras ruled by Rahu, whether it is Ardra or Swati or Satabhisha, each of these nakshatras will have all their 4 padas placed in the air sign, whether it's in Gemini or in Libra or in Aquarius. So, the air signs ability to be very social, very relationship oriented, very intelligent, having strong social manifestation will also kick in. So, if it's the 5th house lord gets into the Adra nakshatra ruled by Rahu, where all 4 padas are in Gemini, so these people are extremely empathetic. These people have great communication skills. These people are very, very hard working. However, because of coming across as being little calculating, though these people may not be calculating, they are really genuine, but because of still being a Rahu rule nakshatras, these people may sometimes not be understood. So usually these people may come across as calculating, while actually these people can be very empathetic. So usually initial approach to life, initial approach to the relations, to their career will go through some ups and downs. So initially there will be some challenges, some issues, some anxieties also, before eventually making it big, before doing very, very well. Sometimes these people can also be a little melancholy or also be a little isolated in their approach. But if they are able to overcome this tendency, and if these people can be more outgoing, these people can get fantastic success. Now, if it's the Swati nakshatra ruled by Rahu, in which the 5th house lord is placed, Swati rule nakshatras have all 4 padas in the Libra sign. So this is one of the better nakshatras ruled by Rahu and one of the better nakshatras in the zodiac to be able to give very good results, materialistic results also. So usually these people can be very confident. These people can also be very friendly, but because of the confidence can also come across as being little adamant. However, these people can be extremely creative, extremely artistic also. However, because of being the 4 padas being the Libra sign, sometimes they end up giving much more. Trying to be balanced, they think if I give more, then maybe I am more balanced. However, they end up giving more than getting enough from in an equal relationship, or thinking that they are in an equal relationship. So usually these people will be a little indecisive at the start, but once they get into a relationship, once they get into a partnership, at least from their side, they will try to take it to the logical conclusion. So success built over a time, success got over a period of time through their fierce resolve, through their confidence, and through a little degree of adamance also. The nakshatra of Swati, in which the 5th house lord will get placed, getting the connection through gains, getting its connection through romantic relations, and through that getting high gains also in their investments. Now, if it is the Satabhisha nakshatra, which is ruled by Rahu, in which the 5th house lord gets placed, in the Satabhisha nakshatra, all 4 padas lie in the Aquarius sign. So these people generally will have a very social approach to relationship, will have a social approach to work, will even have a social approach to the investment that they make. So usually such people will build good relationship, will build good connection, and through those also they will gain a lot. So because they are more liberal, they are also large-hearted, usually they will also be very giving in the relationship, they will be very healing in the approach. So if the romantic partner comes to them and tells them they have a problem, these people will be the first people to go out of their way to help, go out of their way to contribute also. So usually such people may end up doing more, receiving rest from other people. However, these people, because they have the healing abilities, because they have problem solving abilities, people will keep coming to them, and they will keep solving problems for them and keep building those relationships. So usually these people have a very societal approach to their manifestation of life, to how they look at life. Usually these people can be very inquisitive, very research oriented, very visionary, and so initially they will go through some setbacks before eventually getting high success, through whether in relationship, through the investments, or also in their careers. Now, if it is the Ketu ruled nakshatras in which the 5th house lord is placed, Ketu ruled nakshatras all lie in the fire signs. So whether it is Ashwini or Magha or Mula, Each of these nakshatras have each of the 4 padas either in the Aries sign or Leo sign or Sagittarius sign, all fire energies. However, because these nakshatras are Ketu rule, which means these people will have to be first more giving, more caring, more doing, more charitable, more sacrificing before they get high results. So if it is the 5th house lord is getting into the nakshatra of Ashwini, these people can be very good problem solvers, very good healers, and usually these people can also be very good at strategy. And because Ashwini nakshatra is the nakshatra of dynamism, these people can be very, very dynamic in their approach to goal orientation, getting success, very killer instinct also. But because it is the Ketu rule nakshatra, usually they end up doing much more for others, and only in the fag end do they get their share fruits of their labor also, but sometimes it may not be enough. However, still very, very heroic, very, very considerate to people, very, very problem solving oriented approach is the placement of the 5th house lord in the nakshatra of Ashwini, where gains come over a period of time, the good materialistic results come over a period of time after making the contribution as healers, as problem solvers. Now if it is the Magha nakshatra where the 5th house lord gets placed, Magha is a nakshatra where all 4 padas of Magha lie in the Leo sign. So these people have a lot of responsible approach to life, responsible, accountable approach to their career, and also a very leadership orientation to their investments, to gains also. So usually these people will take a lot of responsibility even when they are not getting the fruits of the labor, even when they are not getting the authority. So usually these people are situation leaders. Anybody is in any problem, they will be the people who will go and they will give their best, they will give their contribution, they will also take more responsibility in the situation. Usually over a period of time, a lot of material results also come to these people, and they will also take a lot of pride in how they work, how they approach their relationship also, and they will feel very proud also of their partner, or usually they will want to be with somebody who they can also feel proud about. So usually these people end up with also very strong partners who are also very go-getters, and someone who is also very result oriented partner. So usually over a period of time getting very, very strong results because of the authority, because of the leadership, because of the responsibility is the results of the Magha nakshatra. Now if it's the Mula nakshatra in which the 5th house lord gets placed, where all 4 padas are in the Sagittarius sign. So somebody who is very, very risk taking, very liberal, very thought through decision making, but will also be somebody who may rush into challenges, into issues without thinking for themselves and usually for others. So usually these people will be very inquisitive, very spiritual in their approach also, and very principled in their approach, and these people who like to be very, very fair. And initially these people will be very calm in most trying of circumstances, but if they explode, they can explode like nobody's business. However, these people can be very, very disciplined in their approach, very devoted in their relationship also. So usually people who will be very devoted in their romantic relationship to be able to get output in a manner where they are also risk taking, and they will get into relationship without thinking too much. And so these people can end up in relationship with people with a variety of backgrounds. So one relationship they may have with somebody who will be very, very different from the second relationship that they get into. But over a period of time, rising like a phoenix from the ashes and then getting results after making a lot of contribution to society is the placement of the 5th house lord in the nakshatra of Mula. So friends, now that we have seen how the 5th house lord plays in the different nakshatras ruled by different planets will bring different denotations to you. Check in which planet nakshatra your 5th house lord is placed, what doshas it is in, what yogas it is in, what aspects it is in, what conjunctions it is placed in, because those will also bring in their own flavors. Use that energy very well for gains, for romantic relations, for your investments, and to be able to get the best results out of your artistic denotation, also your media presence, because the 5th house lord is also a stage. So friends, like this video, share this video, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me at the link given below. Until some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.